Hello, I just got done interviewing three of my interviewees for this intergenerational what is it paper, and so I did discover that there was a difference amongst the way that they responded to my questions, which did not surprise me at all because I actually taken this psychology course before in which they teach this, and so I thought that this was like very fascinating. I'm glad that we're diving deeper into it in this discourse with you. And so I have Dulce Paz, which is 23. She's my sister in law. Yolanda Sanchez, 46. She's my mom. And Maria Sanchez, she's 77. She's my grandma. Um, yeah, but I guess like once I put it into in retrospect and I analyze each individual response, it it kind of shocks me because like some of what Erickson um sages say about the age gaps kind of falls true. So my sister-in-law should fall under the intimacy versus isolation. Um, like that's the description that I'm given in her age range, and although that has not like really fallen through because like I don't want to get into like much drama, but like my brother and her have like a really rough path. um but yeah, I mean it is saying intimacy versus isolation, and so I guess she's like on the isolation side of like that description box. And as far as my what is it and as far as my mom goes, she's in a gender activity versus stagnation. So she her that she's developed is care, and I definitely feel that amongst the way that she responded because I mean when I asked her about my sister, well I didn't ask her about my sister. I asked her more about like what are her priorities, and she did respond um, with like her prioritizing over my sister because she wants to make sure that she's left in good hands, and not necessarily good hands but like with a good life because she did raise me and my siblings, and so she wants to do the same for my sister, and that's her priority right now. And I just thought that was like really fascinating because I'm just like, oh my god, you like really care. Like if you did not care, I mean you obviously would just be like, oh no, like I love all my kids and blah blah blah. Like we're pretty much old enough to take care for ourselves. Like I'm not saying my mom's not in the picture, but like I definitely like hear her on whenever she says that she wants to focus like her time on my sister, and like that's 100% like that's not something that's irrational because you know there's a major age gap with my like little sister and I. So I know that she has to give most of her time to my sister, and so I'm completely fine with that. My grandma, she would be categorized under the integrity versus despair. So the virtue developed for her end would have to be wisdom. However, I did not really find that in her, and I do know that this does fall true, and I'm not saying that like the um the Erickson's stage of psychosocial development is like incorrect because I don't believe that in any shape, uh, way or form. But I will say that my grandma is very shallow, and I think bigger issues there's bigger issues. The way she responds to my questions are kind of off-putting because it's more like I'm not trying to answer the question. I'm like just trying to poke fun of it, and like 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 when I asked her, I'm just like, what are your short term and long term goals? For her short term, she did tell me she's like, Oh, well, I guess for her short term, she did say that she wants to like get back in Mexico, um, get back to Mexico and like see her like sisters or whatever. But like long term, she's straight up said she's like, I'm gonna be dead by then, so like why does it matter? And I thought that was like a little heartbreaking because I'm like, well, I mean, you don't really have to think that way, but I maybe that's like the wisdom aspect of it. I don't know. But I'm definitely glad that I got to interview these three different age ranges. And so what I plan doing with this information is really digging deeper into it and really analyzing my interviewees and their responses and just trying to figure out why they said what they said. So I'm really, really excited, and I hope you liked some of the data that I collected. There's definitely a lot more that I want to go into detail with, but I just for like the sake of time, I don't want to take up too much of your time. And so, yeah, I'm excited for this, and I am thrilled to find major, maybe not necessarily major differences, but find the differences amongst these age ranges. But yeah, thank you, and you have a good one.